Today, I'm going to be making a Crumbl cookie copycat recipe. This is a copycat recipe for their cornbread cookie. So I have everything out that we're going to need. You need 1.5 sticks of butter softened, 2 tablespoons vegetable oil or canola oil. I use vegetable oil because that's what we have. A 1/4 cup of just regular granulated sugar, a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 egg at room temperature, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring, and then this is a 1/2 teaspoon of butter flavoring. I have never bought butter flavoring in my life, so this is not butter extract like you would see like in the baking aisle. This is actually over in the cake decorating aisle in Walmart. This is the Wilton brand, and so this is the first recipe I've had that's ever required this. So you all will have to let me know in the comments below, have you ever used butter flavoring in another recipe? Because I've got a whole bottle here to use up, because you only use 1/2 teaspoon for this one. 1 tablespoon of honey, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/3 cup of cornstarch, and then in this little tray we have 3 different things. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 4 things. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So there's 4 things in that little container. And then this is 3/4 cup of cornmeal. So those are the cookie ingredients. And then for your honey buttercream, you're going to use 6 tablespoons of butter softened, 3/4 cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring, and the only thing I didn't get out was a little bit, you can use either heavy cream or milk to thin out the buttercream. So I will get that out when we need it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you want to line a cookie sheet with parchment paper. And then we're going to, in our mixer, we're going to cream together the butter, oil, granulated sugar, and brown sugar until it's light and fluffy. Now we're going to mix in our egg, vanilla flavoring, butter flavoring, and the honey, and just mix it together until it's combined. Scrape my bowl down, and now we're going to add all of the dry ingredients except for the cornmeal. We're going to add the cornmeal last. You saw where I added the cornmeal, and this is how it looks once you've added that cornmeal, and you just want to stir, let it mix in until you don't see the powder anymore. So now you want to take a large cookie scoop, and it says to try to get 14 equally sized cookies. Now that's what I'm bad at. So I'm going to put 7 on this cookie sheet, and I'm going to put 7 on another cookie sheet with parchment paper, and then I will evaluate. I'll look at the size. I'll see if I need to add more, add less, until I get the 7. So it'll just be, we'll just have to see how it works. This feels so very, very soft.
It is very nice texture.
I mean, like, kids would probably like to play with this. It feels really good. Like silky, silky smooth. Okay, I'm gonna get one more cookie on here, and then I'm gonna switch over to my other cookie sheet. Okay, so I have a lot of this dough left, so I'm gonna bring my other cookie sheet over, and I'm gonna have both of them together, and I'm gonna add a little bit of this to each cookie. Gently flatten them with your hands about 2 centimeters in thickness and bake in the preheated oven for 8 to 9 minutes. My cookies for 10 minutes. I looked at them at the 8-minute mark and I could just tell 1 minute wasn't going to be enough for them. So I left mine in for 10 minutes total, and they look really good. You can just see the little bit of brown on the edge, but I'm not going to touch them. I'm going to let them stay here and cool off. It'll probably take another half hour for them to cool off, but I'm gonna let them cool off completely, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna make our buttercream. So now we are gonna make our honey buttercream. So you just wanna take all of your ingredients here, your butter, your vanilla, the powdered sugar, and the honey, and we're gonna cream those together. Now I did get some milk out in case we need to thin it out a little bit, but we won't know that until we get to that point. Not use any milk at all because it doesn't need it. It's a really nice soft texture. So I have a smaller cookie scoop, and I'm just gonna put a little dollop on top of each cookie, and that it's not even a whole scoop. The first one I gave a little bit more, but I'm not putting a whole scoop on the other ones. Just a little dollop. And now to finish these off, you want to take some of your honey and just drizzle it over the top. So I don't want to use too much. Recipe says these Crumbl inspired cornbread cookies are soft and chewy with a deep butter honey flavor. Each cookie is topped with a honey buttercream and a drizzle of honey. And it did make 14 cookies. It says they're 319 calories each, which is probably right. And I did try to, get exactly the amount that I was supposed to and everything. So this recipe comes from lifestyleofafoodie.com. I will link it below. So let's take a bite.
What's funny is the honey is sitting on the cookie just like they do at Crumbl. Kind of pearls up a little bit. It kind of beads up, which I think is interesting.
The cookie's very soft.
I like that gritty, kind of like cornmeal.
The texture is wonderful. The texture of the cookie, honestly, is not much different than it was when I formed it into the balls and put it on the pan.
Yeah, very soft.
Yes, I haven't had a bite with the buttercream yet. Have you? And what do you think?
It's good. I just took a bite of it just now.
That is delicious. And you are a real honey lover.
I love honey.
I think that honey is delicious.
Oh. You get sticky fingers.
There's a lot of times where Crumbl has used like pancake syrup instead of honey. I really like that honey because it's not an overpowering flavor.
My memory of the Crumbl version is they taste a lot like a corn muffin, like a yellow corn muffin. These don't have quite that same flavor. Now, maybe if you use yellow cornmeal, it might have. We just use regular cornmeal. I like them. I like the flavor of them. They're very cornmealy. You get that cornbread flavor. They're very sweet. I'm surprised that the butter flavoring didn't come through more than it has. I mean, it tastes. You taste a little bit of the butter, but not very strong. But you didn't use much of it either. So
no, but
I guess you could probably go overboard really easily.
The absolute best bite in that is with the buttercream.
Yeah, it sweetens it up like super sweet.
Yes, it is so incredibly sweet. That buttercream with the honey, with that incredibly soft cookie, I think it's exceptional.
Yeah, and the texture is very like soft. You get the grittiness from the cornmeal itself, but you also get like a soft cookie. It's not really fluffy, but it's soft.
If you wanted
smooth
to buy frosting or something, if you didn't want to go the extra step, then you could. However, it wasn't hard at all to make that buttercream. And
no, but if you didn't want to do it, you could do just like a vanilla buttercream.
You could, but truly, if you have the ingredients, it's not like it took a long time. Now, I would put them, it didn't mention putting the buttercream in the refrigerator to firm it up. You might want to do that. You might want to let it firm up before you dollop it on. What I did was I got my cookies on the cookie sheet and then I put them in the refrigerator it was just about 5 minutes, long enough for me to do the dishes and then take them back out. And that was it. So
the buttercream, yeah, when you make the buttercream itself, you could refrigerate it just to thicken it up. Because
right.
when they scoop it out, it's almost hard.
Yes.
Not hard, but it's like butter.
So I'm sure theirs has been in the refrigerator. So that's what I'm saying. Once you make it, if you want to put it in the refrigerator, go ahead and do that if you're willing to wait. Me, Miss Impatient here, I just want to eat a cookie. I decided to put it on and then put it in the refrigerator for a few minutes. But I definitely think you do want the cookies good, but what really adds to it is that buttercream. So I definitely do think you want to add that to the top.
I agree.
It makes the cookie. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've ever tried making these yourself at home, you'll have to let me know if this was the recipe you used or something else. But I really do like it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Are they like Crumbl? They're inspired by them.
They're inspired. They're inspired by
say.
Crumbl. Yes, it doesn't taste quite like what you said, like a yellow Jiffy corn muffin, but it's a really good cookie.
Yeah, and you can't beat that texture.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.